Welcome back, explorers of the ancient world. Last time we uncovered just how massive Titanoboa was. Now, prepare to witness the raw power of this prehistoric predator. Let's dive back into the Paleocene 60 million years ago to see how this giant ruled its world. Imagine a quiet dusk over a primeval river. Mist hovers above the water's surface, and the jungle is eerily silent. Near the edge, a group of small, unsuspecting dinosaurs gathers to drink. They have no idea what lurks just beneath the ripples. Slowly, two eyes break the surface, almost invisible in the murky water. Then, in a sudden, explosive burst, the water erupts. Titanoboa strikes from below, a blur of muscle and scales. One of the dinosaurs is dragged beneath the surface in an instant, its struggle echoing through the dense jungle. Underwater, the scene is one of pure, overwhelming power. Titanoboa coils its immense body around its prey. This isn't a venomous bite. It's a slow, crushing embrace. The giant serpent constricts with a force that can shatter bone and extinguish life in moments. The prey's struggle fades, and the water slowly turns still and murky once again. As the beast retreats into the depths, its massive shadow glides away, leaving only bubbles rising to the surface. Night falls, rain begins to patter on the leaves, and the swamp returns to a deceptive calm. Titanoboa's hunting strategy was a masterclass in ambush predation. It was perfectly adapted to its swampy, riverine environment. Picture it moving silently under floating logs, a living shadow in the twilight mist. Of ancient turtles hurriedly swims away as the colossal serpent passes beneath them, instinctively recognizing the apex predator. Titanoboa's senses were incredibly keen. With its head just above the water, its forked tongue would flick out, tasting the air and water, gathering scent particles that told it everything it needed to know about its surroundings. It could detect the faintest ripples, subtle vibrations of approaching prey. Near the riverbank, a herd of small herbivores grazes, completely unaware of the danger lurking just feet away. In a heartbeat, Titanoboa lunges. The water explodes in a shower of mud and debris. Before its victim can even register what's happening, the serpent's powerful coils are wrapped around it. The kill is swift and silent, a testament to its efficiency. All that remains are the fading ripples on the water's surface, a fleeting sign of the life and death struggle that just occurred. From an aerial view, we can truly appreciate the scale of this creature. Following its path along the river, Titanoboa seems less like an animal and more like a force of nature, a massive fluid entity navigating its domain. As fog rolls across the swamp, its enormous coils appear like moving shadows among the ancient trees. When lightning flashes, it illuminates its wet scales, revealing the sheer power coiled within. After securing its meal, it might drag it into deeper water to consume it away from scavengers. With the rain falling lightly, the forest hums with the sounds of insects and distant calls, a stark contrast to the silent, deadly drama that just unfolded. The colossal serpent might pause, its head rising above the water, nostrils flaring in the humid air, before slowly sliding back into the shadows. Vanishing beneath a blanket of water lily. We see droplets of water falling from its glistening scales as it rests after its meal. The ripples fade, the swamp returns to calm, and only the distant echo of thunder remains. Even at night, this predator was active. Using modern imaging as our guide, we can imagine a night vision view of Titanoboa gliding silently between giant ferns, its dark form almost perfectly camouflaged. Above the river, its shadow ripples across the water's surface as it continues its hunt. It might coil around a giant fallen tree, a perfect vantage point, patiently waiting for its next meal. The forest floor would tremble slightly with its movements, stirring insects and small reptiles from their hiding places. In the moonlight, the water glistens and Titanoboa reigns supreme over its swampy kingdom. Its massive body curves elegantly over rocks and roots, a king moving unchallenged through its court. Bubbles break the surface as it moves deeper into the marsh, perhaps seeking refuge under a waterfall, its form blending with the cascading spray. The jungle is alive with sound frogs, insects, distant roars, yet Titanoboa rests, a silent, dominant presence. Its forked tongue flicks out, sensing a distant rival. The air grows tense. This was a world where size and strength meant survival, and Titanoboa had both in abundance. Now, let's talk about the incredible machine that was Titanoboa's body. This wasn't just about length, it was about raw, condensed power. Imagine the morning sunlight revealing the giant serpent resting along a riverbank, its body stretched out across the mud. A close-up would show its muscles flexing beneath thick, armor-like scales. Its tongue constantly tastes the air, a living radar system detecting every scent on the humid breeze. Length winding between ancient trees, a living, breathing part of the landscape. An animated cross-section could show us its ribs and muscles expanding with each breath, a powerhouse of physiology. Its head, with golden eyes and skin glistening with moisture, was the command center for this incredible body. Like modern snakes, it would have shed its skin, revealing fresh, vibrant scales underneath. It moved with an eerie grace for its size. Sliding into forest shadows or across fallen branches, the ground vibrating under its immense weight. This body was built for the environment. It could slip into a warm, mineral-rich swamp pool, its scales glistening after a rain shower. It could arch its head high above the vegetation, surveying its domain like a monarch. Its strength was functional. We can imagine it effortlessly pushing aside heavy logs to clear its path, a feat that would require heavy machinery for us today. In slow motion, we see the ripples of muscle moving across its body as it undulated through the water or over land. Every movement was a display of controlled force. Its thick, interlocking scales acted as natural armor, protecting it from the struggles of its prey and potential rivals. It could coil its muscles, ready to strike in a fraction of a second. Or use its strength to climb a mossy rock, pulling its multi-ton body upward against gravity. When resting atop a riverbank log, it dominated the view, a fallen tree bending under its sheer weight. Underwater, its body was a wave of muscle, propelling it with surprising speed and agility. Its shadow alone, stretching across the jungle floor, was a signal of its absolute dominance. The strength of Titanoboa is almost beyond our comprehension. Let's try to put it into perspective. Imagine the early morning fog, and Titanoboa is coiled around a massive log, the kind it would take several people to even move. With a flex of its muscles, it snaps the log in two. The sound of cracking wood echoes through the silent jungle. This wasn't just a snake. This was a living hydraulic press. It could climb a rocky ridge near a waterfall, the water cascading over its powerful scales, its muscles tensing as it pulled its own enormous weight upward. From a high ledge, it would overlook its swampy domain. A king surveying his kingdom, while distant herds of herbivores moved below, blissfully unaware of the giant watching from above. When lightning flashed, its silhouette would dominate the prehistoric skyline, a truly awe-inspiring sight. Pushing aside fallen trees, stretching its body across the entire width of a swamp, its power was evident in every single action. The water itself would shimmer and ripple as it moved, its body a continuous wave of force. This incredible strength meant that Titanoboa was the undisputed ruler of its territory. Picture the prehistoric landscape of what is now Vietnam, a vast network of dense rainforests, meandering rivers, and sprawling swamps. This was Titanoboa's empire. As it glided through the shallow water, other formidable predators like giant crocodiles and turtles would instinctively move aside, giving the king a wide berth. If a rival predator dared to challenge it, perhaps growling near the riverbank, Titanoboa's response would be swift and intimidating. It would rise from the water, its upper body forming an imposing S-curve, hissing a warning that echoed through the swamp. More often than not, that display was enough. The challenger would retreat, leaving Titanoboa in sole possession of its hunting grounds. As the sun set, its eyes would seem to glow, a silent promise of its power, while thunder rolled in the distance. This was a creature that didn't just live in its ecosystem, it defined it. The entire swamp seemed to bend to its presence, a silent, powerful ruler in a world of giants. Thank you for joining us on this journey back in time. The story of Titanoboa is a powerful reminder of how incredible and diverse life on our planet has been. If you were fascinated by the power of this ancient giant, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We have more amazing prehistoric stories coming your way. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.